Niemann, who joined us twice in our studio, right, after yesterday's roller coaster game as well. Right, it was a very short game,
but he actually found the perfect strategy to beat the young 14-year-old Adomush.
And when he said simplify with the youngsters, and I thought like a couple of years ago, a lot of people in the world would say so facing Hans.
Right.
So it was funny to hear it from him. You should simplify against the youngsters.
He went into yesterday's game, this is Hans, with a game plan. He wanted to simplify, get him into an end game, but he ended up playing a very sharp...
Something wild,
Something concrete, something wild. And the handshake, the clocks have been pressed, it's rock and roll. A very chaotic game in the Sinkfield Cup.
Yeah, the scandalous Sinkfield Cup. Yeah, I think Alireza was white back then, or was it?
Hans, I think, was white.
Hans was white. Yeah, there was some sharp game. I guess sacrificed the piece, and Alireza somehow barely survived. I think. Yep. Anyway, so now Rui Lopez, castles bishop e7, an invitation to Berlin potential. What Berlin? Marshall? No. Anything is Berlin. Like they've ruined the opening.
In fairness, the Marshall is like the new Berlin.
Oh.
In the sense that the lines have been worked out and you often play them.
Yeah.
Now the Marshall, you play the Marshall to get a draw.
Exactly. And to my disappointment, because I always thought like Marshall counterattack was super exciting to analyze, even like with the older computers. And you remember sometimes computers would go wrong, and this famous Kramnik-Leko game from where Kramnik played all the moves according to his preparation and ended up in a lost position because Leko just had kind of more powerful computer or left it overnight or something. Right, so nowadays it's so exhausted, so entering the Marshall counterattack, that probably means like this particular drawish endgame with an extra pawn that you will have to hold. So all the excitement is taken away, and that's why White experiments with various kind of d3 setups. In our case, it's 6 d3, b5, bishop b3, d6, and a2, a3, because you need to take care of this bishop. Black was threatening knight to f5.
Yeah. And you need to preserve that light squared bishop. And here, well, this is still very much in the main realms of theory.
There should be
Like
a lot of games,
knight a5, with the idea of going c5. I've even got like games where black has gone bishop e6. You might even see bishop g4, just for fun.
Yeah, there have been games with bishop g4. I believe this was debated in Carlsen-Nepo match.
Well, what do you think? We're going to expect knight a5, castles. Castles keeps it flexible, like leaves this idea of going knight to a5. Castles.
Yeah, he castles.
Just postpones the decision, and
I believe knight c3 is the move.
you can also play rook e1, h3. I mean, more or less in this type of position, it feels like anything goes.
Right. It's more about like concept and your vision after 15 moves, not the precise move right here, right now. I feel like,
That sounded like
anything,
words that you'd use in like some HR meeting. It's the vision, guys.
Yeah, it's the vision. Exactly, h5, and we thought, well, Alireza must be getting somewhere, right? This threat of h6, but, well, capture happened, and strangely, there wasn't anything that White could do. So White ended up playing c3, Queen g4 was the response from Hans Niemann, then the rook can join on e7. Basically, after Queen g4, Alireza traded on g4, went rook e1, and after b4, a draw was offered. Even number of pawns, opposite colored bishops, and black king is no longer that weak.
And also the position is pretty wide open. Maybe it's Hans who is that little bit better because his bishop
Right,
is
yeah, well,
very strong.
Hans defended very, very well, we have to admit.
Absolutely, sacrificing a pawn. Well, there's a lot of games in progress, but before we dive in, let's head over to Angelica. Angelica, I can see there's a critical game catching your eye. What do you have for us?
There are decisive results already incoming also in the open sections. I would like to start with this one where the Spanish Grandmaster David Anton
And here are the results. It was a quick draw between Matthias Blubaum and Nihar Sarin. So they are still the joint co-leaders, the only two players on 6. And it was also draws on the next 3 boards between Alireza Firouzja, Hans Niemann, and very tight games between Abhimanyu